Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of the OCRL Post-Race Report. I'm your host, Jeff Baki Jr., and this is my co-host, Scott Ickes. We're going to be with you to pretty much do a rundown of yesterday's race, the San Bernardino County 250 in the Camping World Truck Series. How you doing tonight, Scott?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I guess you are. You didn't have to go to the Infield Care Center yesterday.
No.
Yeah, so anyway, let's start things off where they began. That knockout qualifying race started at 8, and we had a lot of good trucks in that race. I mean, I watched it from the pit box, or on top of my hauler. All three of me, Jason, and Jesus were watching it, and you put on a clinic in that show. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Oh man, the team was worried. They've never been in that situation before, so I told them, I've been in it a few times, so I had the experience, and I told them, in practice, I think we were 5th, and I think it was just because other guys were running qualifying setups. So I told them, don't worry about anything. Let's just make the truck good for a long run. 15 laps isn't a long race, but at the end of that run, we want to be able to get ourselves in a bigger lead and, not have to really battle to get in. And we got on pole, and the truck was just on rails.
And at and it'd be about 10 minutes before that race, OCRL officials were mounting the cameras onto your truck and asked you if it was okay for you to record the race, and you thought you were simply going out there for business to record the race. And you get behind the wheel, and I love listening to your radio conversation between you and your spotter. He was telling you, let's go ahead and get this thing locked in, and let's go for this race. And you didn't even know you had to lock in until about 3 minutes before the green flag. What was that like?
Oh man, I didn't believe them. I thought it was just a joke because they like to pull pranks on me all the time. So I just thought it was another prank, and when he told me no, we're serious. That kind of, I kind of had a little bit of shaking going on, but if anybody knows me here, fast truck, I can definitely bring it home. So, I mean, these guys really worked hard at the shop all weekend and brought a really good truck.
Yeah, and upon the entries of that race, we had guys, Steve Anders, he won this race last year, and we had Sean. He's been a veteran, very well known in this league, very respected. We had Patrick O'Toole. We had the rookie Mitchell Thompson in there, and he was one of the favorites to win throughout the entire weekend. He was fast in practice, and everybody thought that he was gonna give everybody a good run. But sure enough, the race got underway, and we had an incident. We had an incident with Patrick O'Toole, and that took out a lot of the good cars. I don't want to say a lot of the good cars, but that messed people up a little bit, and it was pretty much after that, no cautions. It was all out, 10, 15 laps to see what you could do. And it seemed like you pulled away from everybody, and it seemed like Stevie and Sean, two of the most respected guys in the garage area, sneaked by there, and the three of you guys raced your way into the San Bernardino County 250.
Yeah. I was just walking around the garage area, and like you said, those two guys were very respected, and just trying to get their views on the track. We were a little tight, and we were kind of on the fence of making an investment to make it looser. We talked to those guys, and they basically told me the same thing. Was here, you make your truck or car, whatever you run here, a little looser, and it seems to just make a huge difference. The draft here and the aero can really mess up your truck. So, they were like, if you're going to do it, be careful. But, with us starting out on pole, really we were the only ones who were going to hurt ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And like I mentioned before, you guys put on a clinic. I mean, you started first. You never left P1 the entire race. You just pulled out and did what you had to do to get into the race. And let's go to the practice session. Sunday night, the practice session. If you can recall, we don't need to go there. It was pretty much trouble-free. Guys went around. There were people posting the laps and whatnot, so we won't go back that far. But let's go to the practice session after the qualifying race, the final practice. We had a mix-up, and it was a different energy this weekend. Let's go back and tell the viewers. This past week, our season opener at Daytona was a disaster, to say the least. And we didn't have the post-race report. We didn't want to start the show off on a weekend that was filled with all that drama. So that's why we're debuting tonight and give you guys a little feedback. This is going to be an every week thing throughout the entire season, right down to the end of Champions Week. And each week after tonight we're just getting our feet wet, learning how to do things. But each week after tonight, we're going to have a special guy, a special guest into the studio here, and we're going to put them on the hot seat. We don't have any drivers lined up. We're just going to see how the race goes next week, and then we'll pick a driver based on that. But so that's how that's going to work. But let's work into final practice. There was a different energy. Wait, we got to back up first. Going back to last Tuesday at Daytona, it was a disaster. After the race, there was a lot of people really upset with the officials, upset with each other. Everybody was going haywire, and the OCRL made a wise decision in calling the meeting. All the officials gathered in the hauler throughout the week, and that release was made public today on the OCRL.com, where everybody can go and listen to the actual video, the footage from what everybody was saying. And it seems like the officials have a zero-tolerance policy on people disrespecting each other. And that's good to have based on what we've had. And I don't know about you, but walking through the garage area this weekend after that meeting and knowing that everybody's problems were pushed aside, there was a different energy in the garage area. And I actually walked by. Go ahead.
I mean, it was. Well, I was walking through there, and guys were, free. They were just, joking around and asking questions with each other about the track, and I mean, it was just cool. It was a better experience at Daytona. Daytona seemed so business-like, and some guys they're having problems with their truck in practice, in qualifying, and even the start of the race. So, this week, I mean, all the trucks were ready. Guys were, having fun in practice, and right down to race. I mean, that was a fantastic race. Whoever watched it, has seen it. I mean, you've seen some really good racing, and I mean, that's what you're just going to see week in and week out with everybody here.
Exactly, and I actually at one point in time throughout the weekend walked by the 2 garage. Anybody who don't know racing by now, number 2 is driven by Eric Mickey, and the history between me and him goes way back. And I walked by and I raised my hand up and waved, and he waved back, and that's not usual for me and him. And before the race, we were standing on pit road, we were talking about our trucks, and we were just laughing, joking around, and it's never been like that. And I even heard a rumor that Austin and Jesus were talking. I don't know what they were talking about, but they were talking.
Yeah, if going back to last season in the Cup chase, those guys kind of got into each other. But I think as a driver, I mean, there's some guys who are going to hold grudges. For the most part, though, I mean, during the chase it's kind of a point where you might be mad at a guy the entire time, but once a new season starts, it's a new slate, and most guys they'll be focused on doing good for that race, for that season.
Exactly. And I think that's what everybody's decided to do, is just to agree to disagree, and they're moving on and just forgetting. And let's move into the race. We had me and Eric on the front row. I got the pole, and everything. The top 3 cars broke track record, and it was just the qualifying was awesome. It was fun, and my truck personally was pretty good in qualifying.
Oh, the track had so much speed yesterday. I don't know what they were putting on it, or what the weather, or maybe the weather was the reason what was going on, but it just had so much speed in it. And I know from my perspective that track was the best it's ever been, at least in Truck Series. I know you've run more Truck Series races there than I have, but it just seemed to be a really good day for racing.
Oh yeah, and this is like it was almost like the track was repaved. It had so much grip. And it was a cool weekend, all weekend long. It wasn't hot, it wasn't slick. Usually that track we run later in the year, summer months, and it's really slick, really greasy, and really hot. And we ran it earlier in the year this time for the first time in, I believe, history, and it was cool, and it had tons of grip, and that allowed for the best racing possible. So moving in, we were green for, with the first 30 laps or so, and the racing, I know I got out front, led the first lap, and was falling back. The truck wasn't exactly where I wanted it, and man, Eric Mickey, he got out front and drove away from everybody.
Oh, he was a force. I know I was started fifth. I moved up. I think I was in fifth, and I moved up to fourth, third, moved back down to fourth. I mean, like I was saying, the racing was just incredible, and people were using the draft like they were at Daytona. It was crazy. And after a while, after the pack had thinned out and stuff like that, I think we were second or third, and Eric was at least a second ahead of us. And he's just dominant, really, in anything he runs in. But trucks is really where he's at, and he was just doing good the early part of that race.
Yeah, he was, and I was talking to Jason after the race, and he was telling me that his best run was early in that run, and he said that once the tires started wearing, he was running Eric down, and but didn't get him enough, but he was catching him and catching him and catching him, and he felt like his truck was the best at that point. And I think the biggest issue throughout the entire night was when that first group of cars pitted. Spotter communication, whatever happened, it didn't, and Jason peeled off on pit road, and Austin ran in the back of him. Just about ended both trucks' days. It killed their cars, and both teams were breaking up the bear bond at this point. And believe it or not, on both radios, there was no foul language, no nothing. Everybody was really calm and collective about that.
I think that, I'm kind of surprised by Jason because he had problems last week and wasn't able to race. Austin had a good race, so you weren't really maybe expected out of him, but it was good by both drivers. If you hear it, you kind of expect it, but when you don't hear it, it is what it is. So, both drivers have respect for each other, and it's just a racing deal. It happens, all kinds of racing, so, they just had a little deal there.
Exactly, yeah, and everybody carried it really well, and I didn't know anything had happened. That's how good it was. Everybody was just quiet, and I talked to Jason after the race, and I saw the damage on it. I mean, as a team owner, that's what I'm going to do, is walk over there and look at my trucks and make sure that my drivers ain't tearing them up. But, I mean, it was a racing deal, and both drivers carried themselves very well to just keep their head on their shoulders. And anyway, the first round of pit stops come, and drivers are coming in there, getting their everybody making 4-tire stops, 2 cans of fuel. And I don't know about any other team, but I know we had everything but the backup truck into that truck that we were running. I mean, after that first run, I don't know what happened. The truck was junk, and we had it up on jack stands, changing out sway bars and messing with the cambers and the toe in and everything.
Well, I know some of the drivers that were interviewed last night, they were saying that they made a lot of wedge and track bar adjustments, but we came in early. We had to, I think it was like lap 15 or 16. We started overheating. We didn't experience that in the first race, that first heat, but I think that's because we were out in fresh air, so the engine was always cool, but getting back in the pack, heated it up. We had to come in early. We took 2 tires, fuel, and we made a track bar adjustment. Came back out. We caught a caution in first place, which really put us in good position. But overall, I mean, everybody did pretty good on pit road. Some people that are at home watching the race don't understand how hard it actually is to get on pit road. So when everybody does get on pit road, it's good.
Yeah, and me and you talked about this after the race last night. The 2 biggest movers possibly were you and I. You come out, I know me and you were running 6th and 7th, and you came out, and now you tell me you took a 2-tire stop, but you came out and you were the leader, and I was in 3rd place, and the caution came out. It was perfect for me and you because, I mean, we had gained all that position just in pit stops, And the first caution came out, and it was for I believe it was Sean. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean brought the first caution out, and about ended his day at that point. Them guys backed into the wall, and they had some issues, and they went down and did some work on it, and got him back out on the track, and we get underway.
Yep. So
And
where are we at now? We're lap 30 something. Am I
yeah, we're
correct?
about lap 35 or so in the race, and this was an 80-lap race, and we're about 35, and we get to racing again. And this was the point of the race where we're getting caution after caution after caution. Between Sean and Cody, we had 10 cautions total, and I'd say in this point we had about 7. And after all the cautions get scattered about, single car incidents, Sean eventually parks it, Cody eventually parks it. Both of them guys had a upsetting day, and they just took their stuff to the hauler and sent it home, and hopefully they'll be back next week to try to get into the race. Of course, Cody's going to be locked in for at least another race unless he can pick it up on the owners' points. But we're getting to the point, we're about lap 55, 60 maybe, and we get that other green flag stretch just about where we're cutting it, and my crew chief's talking fuel mileage. Hey, buddy, start saving some fuel. We're going to come in, we're just going to take a splash of gas and get back out on the track. Do you want to take 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires? What do you want to do? And it was nail biting at that point in time, thinking that we were going to get strategy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and the thing that's hard is, as a race car driver, you're always thinking about going fast, always, all the time, hitting the gas pedal. And when we have to go to fuel mileage, it's difficult because then you're having to let off the throttle, half throttle, all that good stuff, and it was just going to be a nail biter if there wasn't going to be any cautions coming out after that. But as we know, we got a couple late ones.
Exactly. And so anyway, we get down with about 11, 12 laps to go, and everybody's still thinking we got to pit here in just a few laps, and we get another caution. I think this was Cody's final caution. This is when the officials told me how to park it. He finally went back. I said earlier he did, but he finally went back at this point. And we come down, we get full service 4 tires, 2 cans. I think everybody's putting that little bit of extra tape on the grill and bumping up the air pressures. No, we're just going to get a 10-lap stint. They're making the proper adjustments so they can get the best out of their car in these final 10 laps. And the 3 cars, I believe it was Eric, Austin, and I think it was you up there in the top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got busted for speeding on pit road. Y'all had to start the tail end. And everybody thinks, even to this point, it was technical error because for 3 cars, especially the front 3, to be running like that and getting caught with speeding penalties, the same exact speed, is kind of, it seems like it's a glitch in the system. But you guys paid your due to the OCRL. You guys started at the back of the pack. And to say the least, that's when hell broke loose, and it was the worst time for you guys.
Oh, it was crazy. I told my crew chief when we got to start that first caution, I think of 3, right, at the end of the race.
Yeah, we had 3 cautions in the final 10 laps. Yeah.
It was the first one. I got on the mic with him, and I just said, whatever happens here. At the time, I thought we were just gonna, I was gonna run my heart out, but I thought, I don't know if we can make it back up to the front to win this thing. So basically told him, they brought me a good truck here tonight, and I'm gonna do everything I can to get up here in front and get a win for us. And the first one, we were so sideways. We made a track bar adjustment, round up on it, and we went down on the tire pressure on the right rear, and it was so loose. I don't know about you, but the closing rate was unbelievable going in turn 1 if you were fast enough. And
right.
We had to trail our brake at one point. I was trailing it, and it would just get out of control. So we almost lost the pack, but then caution came out with a couple drivers on the low side of the track in turn 1 or turn 3, I can't remember. And it was crazy, to say the least. And
the dominant car of the day, Eric Mickey, gets a little bit of damage from this first incident, and they go down, they put some bare bond on it. He comes out, the truck looks, well, other than the black tape on the front of it, it looks like it's aerodynamically fit to still come up front and win the race. We knew he could do it. We knew he could. So at this point, I had jumped the restarts. I played the restarts perfectly and got myself ahead of Stevie. And he was fast. Let me tell you what. Them guys, that Ford group, they always bring fast tracks. Your teammate, Zero Motorsports, and I know it's the same
Mm-hmm.
trucks that Stevie ran last year, and it's good equipment. It really is. And racer Michael Gruby is really hooking you guys up. Let's get back on topic here, though. We get going green. I'm leading the race, and I'm thinking it's going to be deja vu from a couple seasons ago in the Cup Series. I had done the same exact thing to Stevie. Had jumped the restart and gotten a good run on him into the corner, and we get another caution. And my spotter comes over and says, "This is a big one. We got our teammate in it." This one ended Eric's day, and this was his first DNF, and well, I don't know how recent it was, but it was his first DNF in a little bit, and Jason got involved, Austin got involved, and at this point, I'm thinking, who's left? I mean, I'm thinking of the front runners. I thought it was just me and Stevie. So we get going on that final restart, green, white, checkered. I'm leading the race. I'm knowing what I have to do. I got to keep this guy behind me. So holding the low lane, we go through 1 and 2. I come down the back stretch. My spotter says, "Got one outside. You got one behind him." And I looked in my mirror. I saw your truck there. And I said, he's pushing him. He's pushing him. Wow, this is going to be it. So I figured we'll hang on there for third. I mean, it'd be a good points night, being that the points leader was messed up. And you shoot down, and I thought you were going to bump me, and sure enough, you made it 3 wide. And you were talking about the closing rate in turns 1 and 2. Well, the closing rate was also with you, and you went down low. I went down to block you, and I came back to the track, and I guess we were hooked at that point. And, yeah, we don't got to relive that part.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, the caution before that with Eric, I was behind Austin and him, and I was thinking about just, I'm crazy. I'm a risky guy. I'm thinking about going 3 wide on the front stretch. We didn't do it though, and I just tucked in behind Austin going into 1. We come out of 1, and I had a good run on him. I go up high. Eric's way up high, so I'm going to shoot through the middle of both of them. Instead, Austin hits me. I hit Eric. I kind of play, I'm kind of the bumper car there, and the next thing I know, Eric shoots down the low end. I guess he took out Jason and Austin. It was, for me, I mean, it happened so fast, you can't even think about it. You just think, okay, we got one more restart here, green, white, checkered. And, for Stevie, I knew, one of us had to win. We're teammates. We got to work together. We got to get a win for Ford, Zero Motorsports, all the guys back at the shop. So, yeah, that last one, restarted coming down the backstretch on the last lap. We didn't want to get into you, but it was just a racing incident.
Yeah, I ain't worried about it either. I mean, I was fathom at the point that I was even up there with as bad as the truck had been all day long, and to be able to have to even finish the race, I knew we were 7th best, at the best, and it was pretty rough for our guys, but I ended up finishing 7th, and that was my worst finish in 26 starts, which is quite a streak. I don't know who's got the streak. I guess we'll have to look into that, but I know all last season my worst finish was 4th, and we come out and we finished 3rd in Daytona, and then we finished 7th here last night, and I'm not upset about it. Like I said, I'm not upset about it. The truck was junk, and Jason really isn't upset about his 6th place finish, but I know that we both know that his truck was good, but Jesus carried the flag for our team. And like I said, Zero Motorsports to come out the bag like that, and new team, new management, and with your team owner being over in Iraq defending our country, and for you guys to do what you're doing back over here, it's bittersweet. It's storybook almost, and it was good to see both you guys and Stevie for the 2nd consecutive time in victory lane at Auto Club.
Yeah, the guy's a veteran race car driver, and he's always giving me tips, and we work well together. So, I mean, you didn't see us too much on the track together at California, but in the garage area, we were always talking and stuff like that. So it was a great race at California. Couldn't ask for anything better, and I think we're just gonna get as best racing at Dover, if not even better.
Exactly, and to round out last night's race, we had Steve Anders bringing his number 6 Valvoline Ford into victory lane with his teammate yourself. You finished second. Jesus Andrade and his number 7 Realtree Outfitters Chevrolet finished third. Andrew Mickey, wow. He was honestly up in the he didn't luck into that win at all. He was up there all night long with the lead guys, and I would like to applaud him because that was an awesome run by that 22 Dodge team. To come out with new equipment, Dodges at that, Dodge engine, Mopar power, and them guys really showed up. And if this is how they're going to race all season, then welcome to the party. I'm glad to see them guys running up front with us now. And rounding out the
not to interrupt you, but not only to congratulate all the teams, all the sponsors, but also to all the fans out there who watch the races. We put that all on for you guys, so thanks for watching.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nothing without you guys, and we're here for those of y'all who work Tuesday nights, and we give you a rundown from our perspective. And Austin Painter rounded out the top 5, and casualties of the night, Eric Mickey, Cody McCorkle, and Sean Sadler, 8th, 9th, and 10th respectively. And it was a good race, and I sure hope that what happened last night carries on for the rest of the season, because it was, like I said earlier, it was a great energy. I love being a part of it, and that's what this league's about.
Yes, it is.
And we're going to go in the next week, Dover, Delaware. Very sentimental track for me, and Steve Anders, the favorite by far on the website, ranked number 1 fan popularity to win this race next week. And in Dover, he's won it last year. Every time we show up to Dover, he's a contender. And if it wasn't for an engine failure, I think he'd won every damn race that he's entered there. So definitely that Ford group, Zero Motorsports, looking for their 2nd consecutive win. And between the two of you guys, I wouldn't count y'all out to get that for Racer and Zero Motorsports.
Thank you. And don't even pay attention to practice speeds, because Stevie is one of those guys where he may not be as good in practice. He may not be as good in qualifying, but the last couple laps that race, man, he is right there. So. Exactly.
I mean, I usually say, I look at practice speeds, I'm like, well, this guy's going to be fast, this guy's going to be fast. I got to beat this guy. And we get to the race, and Stevie's, you come out of nowhere, and I'm not prepared for him, and that's how he wins these races. He sneaks, he stays in the back, and he's smart about it, and he's a great aspiration to everybody. Any of the new guys coming in here, if you want to base yourself off of somebody, that's the guy to do it. Steve Anders, he's won the most popular driver several times, and well earned, and it's a damn shame he ain't won the championship. He'd be a great role model for this league, and I'm sure that championship's lurking. If not this year, then it'll definitely be soon.
Yep.
And we're going into Dover, like I said. Last year it was Stevie winning the race. Jesus Andrade finished 2nd. I finished 3rd. Andrew August, when he raced, finished 4th, and Austin Painter was 5th. That was last year's top 5, and the entry list so far. It looks like we're going to have Mitchell Thompson locked in the number 2 for Enigma World Motorsports, and Eric's going to be in the knockout qualifying. Now, of course, he does have the Champions Provisional, so we do know that all of their cars are going to be locked in for this race, and we got Matthew Young looking to make his debut. Had some engine problems last week, couldn't get fired up for the qualifying race, and those guys were out of it. And the heartbreak story of the year so far, Tyler Amish, those guys came out here with limited funds in Daytona, and they finished 4th, and they couldn't get it done, and yesterday to qualify in. So I really hope those guys can do it. But
a reminder to all fans too that we will have the heat races broadcasted on Ustream. Search Good U17. You will find all the heat races from all the season will be broadcasted.
Yeah, and the most exciting part of the entire race is these heat races. They'll keep you on your toes. And the point standings after the San Bernardino County 250, Eric Mickey leads his teammate Austin Painter by 4 points. Scott, you're 9 points back. This is the closest battle we've had so far. I mean, the top 3, 9 points. Steve Anders, after the devastation last week in Daytona, he's in 4th now, gained 7 spots after his win yesterday. He's 22 back. And I'll round out the top 5, 29 points back. The owner standings, everybody knows, or they should know at least, that after next week, we're using the 2011 A owner standings, and right now it's the number 2 of Eric Mickey's leading it, number 4, and then Zero Motorsports is 3 and 6, they're 3rd and 4th. The 8 and 7 for Junior Motorsports are 5th and 6th, and the last car, 7th place, is Andrew Mickey holding on to that. And the guys on the bubble looking at from on the outside looking in, Patrick O'Toole and Jason Gaines, those 2 drivers are going to be forced to qualify in. Of course, with all the technology that we have over at Junior Motorsports, I'm pretty sure we can find a way to utilize that to make sure Jason gets locked in. But it's going to be exciting, and next week in Dover, the Concrete Mile, Monster Mile, they call it that. It's going to be an awesome race. I can feel it, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah, me too. It's a beefed up Bristol. It's awesome. So
exactly, yeah.
Can't wait to go there.
And we got live. We have practice Saturday night at 9. The drivers, anybody on the entry list is welcome to come out. We'll be out there practicing, and I'm looking forward to that practice. It'll be a good idea to see who's going to be fast, and it'll be a good break for these knockout qualifiers. And then, of course, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, we got knockout qualifying. 8:30, we go to final practice and qualifying, and then we got the race at 8:45. And it's going to be an action-packed week, and looking at the watch, we're running out of time, Scott.
I'm going to be on the track in a couple of minutes. I'll see you there.
Well, I don't know about meeting you on the track, but definitely running out of time. Producers in our ear telling us we got to get off, and it was an exciting debut to have you guys listening in on the race report, and we can't wait to see you next week. We're going to have a special guest in the studio. And any final thoughts, Scott?
Nope, just be ready for an action-packed race again Tuesday. Don't miss any of these races, because you're going to miss so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys are smarter than ever. We're in our 4th or 5th season of the OCRL. Everybody knows what the setups do, and it's just beginning. We're going to have an awesome points battle. It's going to be an awesome year. We're having full fields, and I'm really looking forward to it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time here on the Race Report, and we'll see you next week live in Dover.
See you guys later.